And Uganda loses team events to Egypt in All Africa Badminton Championship. Hello once again, let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has commended religious leaders for standing their ground against homosexuality, a vice that could compromise Uganda and African values. The president described promoters of same-sex relationships as lost people that are taking a wrong direction. This he echoed at Muchwini in Kitgum district during commemorations to mark Archbishop Janan Luomo Day.
If a hen can know that it's meant for a cow, and the bull can know that it's meant for a cow, what makes it difficult for a human to know that a man is meant for a woman?
And live faithfully for the Lord, and that the Lord may bring healing upon you through his words this day. If you need to appear here, please take heart and stand and open your heart. Let me tell you, Church of Uganda, when the Church of England is taking another direction of accepting marrying a man and a man, the Church of Uganda is keeping the stand of faith that we cannot be shaken.
These are some of the concerns that have been of top concern and the top message here as the country commemorated Archbishop Janan Luomo Day here at Muchwini in Kitgum district.
Whoever is promoting such vices, they should keep their money. We keep our faith and keep the faith, because I'm sure if Janan Luomo was here, he would be grieved to see that people are introducing homosexuality.
President Museveni arrived as the service was going on here at Muchwini, and he went straight to lay a wreath to the grave of the wife of the former Archbishop, who also died in 2019. Museveni has backed the church leaders and all other religious leaders on their stand against homosexuality, describing the people supporting it as those who are lost and are taking the wrong track.
I want to congratulate the Ugandan believers for rejecting homosexuality. These Europeans are really with these Europeans. They don't listen. But it's good that you said please. We have been telling them please, this problem of homosexuality is not something that you should normalize and celebrate.
Museveni also seized the opportunity to preach the gospel of peace, the gospel of wealth creation, and the gospel of values in the country.
This is really the message of the NRM. Yes, you can talk about Dong Logo, but you can actually have Lonyo even in areas where there is no Dong Logo.
He encouraged Ugandans to embrace wealth creation, producing for commercial purposes, especially in agriculture, and also to embrace compulsory universal primary and secondary education.
So this UPE was introduced to save your people from lack of education.
Lokman me kwan lu muhone gamento katikere me konyowa ni lutienwa pejur a oki gangwan mirgu beri gangwan.
The rich people can send their children to private schools and they pay big money.
Joma chene tie chingi giromo chwala lutieno ki schools mukene mano ki chula gere.
But the children of the poor should study free.
The day is gone. Archbishop Janan Loum continues to be remembered as a hero of Uganda. He was murdered in 1977. This remains a day worth celebrating according to religious leaders and all other people who turned up to celebrate this day.
We are all united in honoring, celebrating and giving thanksgiving for the testimony, the martyrdom and example of Archbishop Janan Loum as a compelling role model for Uganda and the world.
Just like Archbishop Janan Loum did, all we can say is that you can stand your ground if you're standing for the truth. Henry Okrut, UBC, here at Muchwini in the Northern District of Kitgum.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has cautioned parents to double their efforts in the fight against homosexuality and the LGBTQ agenda besides drug abuse. The minister was handing over 300 bursaries worth 900 million shillings to senior 1 students in various schools under his program Bamunanika Education Fund at a function held at Kakola, Bamunanika, Luero District.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has condemned the increasing practices against religions and cultural norms dominating schools in the country. This comes a day after the Minister of Education and Sports pledged to launch an investigation into sexual perversions in schools. He cautioned parents and guardians in this period of selecting schools for their children against those they have not examined and to double their efforts to fight these vices and perversions out of schools and the country at large. Dr. Muyingo was handing over 300 bursaries worth 900 million shillings to senior 1 learners in various schools under his program aimed at supporting children with further studies, the Bamunanika Education Fund.
Kasitowulira mu mpisa ntozesika bulungi ngamba nze nja kukwata mu nsawo tumusasulira awalala. Njagala obudde buno tusigaza abaana tebanadda ku masomero tubukozese okuteekera wagi tubatwala n'okubateekateeka obulungi. Njagala obudde buno tubukozese gwe ng'owuwa amaze okufuna gy'alaga tuddeyo mu kyalo.
At a function held at Kakola High School in Luero, the minister also cautioned parents still with school-going children at home that the Ministry of Education and Sports is to embark on the operations to arrest them. He said government has constructed several schools across the country under UPE and USE programs for those who can't afford private schools. The chairperson, Bamunanika Education Fund, Robert Chini, says this program of Bamunanika Education Fund was established in 2011 and over 20,000 students have already benefited.
Now, of the 252, these are distributed in the 5 different sub-counties within the constituency, and each sub-county was allocated 50 students. So that is the total number of 252 that has been selected this financial. Now, this academic year, but we also hope to recruit those for senior 4 starting next week.
Fred Kasvante compiled this report.
Meanwhile, government has been requested to ensure that most of its projects like Emyoga and now the parish development model are supported by research. Speaking during the 4th session of Makerere University's 73rd graduation ceremony, which is dedicated to Makerere Business School, the Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, emphasized the importance of knowledge in improving the standards of living in the country.
About 4,639 students turned up at Makerere University Freedom Square from Makerere University Business School to receive their awards of PhDs, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees and diplomas during the fourth session of Makerere University 73rd graduation. This makes 30% of the 13,221 graduates, attracting a very huge gathering that called for extra arrangements to accommodate them.
And it has inspired me, honestly, business-wise. I have a dream of starting my own company, and this course has educated me and enabled me on how to start up and actually run a successful company.
Among the graduates is Waswa Mubarak, who has studied Bachelor's of Business Administration from Mob's Jinja campus, a born of Iganga. He attributes his achievement to believing in himself because his appearance is for a child.
I'm good. Right now I'm graduating. I've graduated and I'm expecting to get a good job and do big things as long as we change our mindset. If we start believing in ourselves, we can reach big.
The spokesperson KCCA, Simon Kasiate, is also among those who graduated with a degree of Masters of Business Administration. His target was to acquire knowledge on how to manage money and progressing to positions like Chief Executive Officer of a company.
Understand the management, not just of organization, but the management of money and the management of institutions to grow money.
One of the lecturers from MOBS in the Faculty of Commerce, Department of Accounting, Chinata Moses, was awarded with a doctorate of philosophy for his study in commercial real estates in Uganda.
There is nowhere you can go and you get a right information, let's say, on how to invest. Listen, the market, the prices of the plots, they are not actually there's no standards.
The Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, said Makerere Business School research is tackling real-life problems like setting standards and ensuring that Uganda imports good quality solar systems, and also offering insight on how to increase intra-regional trade.
Active use of solar electricity by households in Uganda. She recommends that the government should formulate a policy to regulate the quality of solar photovoltaic systems imported.
Makerere University Business School has embarked on studies to understand what the Parish Development Model Government Program is.
Now that this one is ongoing, we must support it, and in MOBS, our economic forum is very busy with the understanding the parish development model, how it is working, and what are the bottlenecks, and how this can be eased.
The 5 days graduation sessions are ending tomorrow with the College of Engineering and the College of Journalism and Communication. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Gemwa at Makerere.
And now Commissioner Generals from different revenue authorities in East Africa have been urged to embrace new technology advancement to achieve a tax collection best. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ramadan Gobi, noted that for East African member states to be dependable, they must implement a tax policy formulation system to enable EAC states achieve their fiscal consolidation.
As part of strengthening and enabling tax mobilization in the East African Community member states, Commissioner Generals from 7 revenue authorities of the East African Community are deliberating on how to enhance tax policy formulation towards building sustainable development goals for dependable East Africa.
The major goal of forming the East African Revenue Authorities CG's Forum was to ensure that we attain harmonized, standardized, and integrated tax administration systems across the partner states. These meetings therefore provide a platform for exchange of ideas good practices relating to tax administration and revenue collection in the region.
And I can bet before you that if we emphasize on the use of technology, and instead of being satisfied with the self-assessment system and moving toward what Mr. Mbulu has said, we collect the revenue from the source, I'm sure we are going to fully finance our budgets for the respective countries.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ramadan Gobi, urges Commissioner Generals to embrace technology advancement to diversify tax mobilization and help governments achieve fiscal consolidation.
Despite increasingly bringing the region's tax systems in line with international standards, our region, as we all know, is yet to realize the out of sub-Saharan African average of 18% tax to GDP ratio as per our peers elsewhere.
We are also looking at ensuring that we continue improving the efficiency of the revenue administration. The more efficient we become in collection of revenue, the more the revenue we collect, and the more we support our governments in fiscal consolidation.
Existing different tax regimes remain an impediment within the East African states, with stakeholders calling upon the harmonization and standardization of tax collection agenda.
One of the limitations in our region is the diversity in the tax procedures and laws across our different countries. This diversity not only creates complexity, but also creates avenues through which tax-paying community can exploit one jurisdiction against the other.
The East African Revenue Authority Commissioner General meeting is an annual event that attracts tax collection revenue bodies in East Africa to discuss and forge means of harnessing and improving revenue-related issues. This year's event focused on the theme, leveraging technology and data for revenue mobilization. Sadam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Well, the Exhibitions and Trade Services India PVT Limited and Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda have partnered with the Ministry of Health, Uganda National Drug Authority and Uganda Manufacturers Association to organize the second edition of the Pharma Healthcare Expo. The expo has commenced on 16th today and will run till the 18th of February with the aim of showcasing the latest advancements of medical sector in order to make medical services accessible. Now, Ministry of Health has put in place a provision to aid Ugandans access their COVID-19 certificates through a portal at the exhibition. This is aimed at easing the access of these certificates to those that never acquired them.
But as a Ministry of Health, we are happy that there is this kind of exhibition annually where players can come, interact, get ideas, and also improve human medicine. There are people who have been having challenges with accessing their COVID vaccination certificates on our portal. So we have a team of our data people who can help you cross-check whether your certificate is in the system. If you have challenges in accessing it, they can help you download it.
So we are here today to reach out to all the medical and pharma companies to provide with them the supply chain for their shipments via sea, air, spare parts, logistics, road freights, warehousing and distribution. We also have a pharma-approved warehouse in Gayaza for the clients who are looking for warehousing and distribution services. We will be glad to offer you the services.
We decided to participate in medical logistics because there was a gap in accessing high-quality and cost-effective equipment, especially for the private and private not-for-profit health units. So what we have here, we deal in a complete hospital range of products.
Meanwhile, with the enraging effects of climate change caused by deforestation and encroachment on wetlands, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija has told the media that his ministry requires more funding to avert the environmental crisis in the country. Kasaija says the ministry will invest heavily in civil education of the masses about dangers of environmental degradation, emphasizing on afforestation. The minister made the remarks at an international conference on climate change, access and mobilization for enhanced regional climate action held at Serere, Chico.
Like many countries around the world, Uganda is experiencing significant effects of climate change on the environment, such as floods, landslides and prolonged drought that have caused a major threat on people's lives and livestock. Speaking at the conference on climate change access and mobilization for enhanced regional climate action, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, emphasized the need for more funds to educate Ugandans about climate change following its adverse effects on the environment caused by deforestation and degradation of wetlands.
The money I would get myself is to educate the population all around the world. Don't touch forests, don't touch forests which are reserved, don't dry the wetlands, don't overuse water, learn how to conserve water.
Kasaija also appealed to Ugandans to stop encroaching on wetlands and cutting of the forest cover.
The environment now is real and deadly. So therefore, please do not go and settle in forest reserves. Don't settle in wetlands. Okay? If you want assistance, then seek it. We'll show you where you can be able to go and cut out economic activities. If we continue doing what we are doing, this country will become drier. This country will be prone to wetlands. Mudslides, and the next issue is that people will die as they have died.
Participants at the conference from regional member states shared challenges facing climate financing in their countries of origin. Sudat Kaye and Nicholas Nduga, UBC News.
Regional and international health organizations have commended Uganda for its efforts and measures used to fight Ebola. Representatives of health organizations applauded Uganda for setting a precedent and becoming the first country to end an Ebola outbreak in 69 days.
Regional and global health organizations have commended Uganda on its efforts towards fighting and ending the Ebola virus. The World Health Organization representative in Uganda, Jonas Stegen, applauded Uganda for its transparency and measures used to end Ebola outbreak.
As I mentioned on Monday, the unique aspect of this response was the concerted effort of all of you, all the partners, all agencies, all parts of the society, more than anyone, the commitment of the community that enabled Uganda to defeat this epidemic in 69 days, which is a world record in managing an Ebola outbreak, which has already established a secondary transmission.
Uganda broke a world record for ending Ebola outbreak in 69 days, making it the first country in the world to end an outbreak in the shortest time. Regional health organizations will now adopt measures used by Uganda towards ending public health emergencies.
That's very impressive, although I think you have set up a really high bar for yourself and for the rest of the countries of this continent and the world, I have to say.
We have gathered a lot of best practices from this exercise. We have gathered a lot of challenges that we share in common between us. And we hope to use this to build on this to enable us prepare better. And we are confident that through such experiences, we shall reciprocate and keep away any future pandemics or outbreaks away from Uganda, just as you kept SVD away from us and the rest of the world.
The Minister of State for Primary Health Care, Margaret Muhanga, on behalf of government, applauded the public vigilance in the 9 districts which were affected by Ebola, especially in Kasanda and Mubende, which were the epicenter for the virus.
The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Health, and with the support of WHO and other partners, managed to contain the disease, and by 11th January of 2023, Uganda was declared Ebola-free. And as you have heard from WR, we are now the champions of fighting epidemics. Uganda is now on the world map. A lot of people are coming to learn from us how we managed to end Ebola in 69 record days.
The Sudan Ebola virus disease outbreak after action review meeting has attracted global health organization representatives to assess lessons and possible response on dealing with public health emergencies. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has joined other NRM supporters in endorsing President Yoweri Museveni for the 2026 presidential candidature. Nabakova, who presided over the Kasanda 2023 District Belated Liberation Day celebrations, noted that President Museveni still bears the best vision for this country.
Several groups and supporters in the country have continued to entrust President Yoweri Museveni for the 2026 presidential bid in what has been dubbed as Muzai Tovakumen by NRM supporters is almost becoming a daily assignment. Many party loyalists believe that President Yoweri Museveni is still the best striker and capable of transforming and leading the country peacefully. The latest endorsement of Museveni as sole candidature for 2026 has been the Minister for Lands, Judith Nabakova, and NRM diehards in Kasanda district. While presiding over this year's belated Liberation Day celebrations for Kasanda district, NRM diehards led by Minister Nabakova endorsed the NRM party chairman Yoweri Museveni as their sole presidential candidate for 2026. In the same event, Nabakova launched the immunization campaign for children against measles in the district. As part of the activities to commemorate the day, Minister Nabakova also inspected the progress of the ongoing rehabilitation of Bukaya Health Center and also laid a wreath at the Liberation Monument at Bukuya SS. She further ascertained the progress of construction of the government health facility in Kijana. Nonetheless, Minister Nabakova challenged members of the general public to continue supporting the current regime and also embrace government programs on poverty alleviation. The Liberation Day is commemorated every 26th January in memory and reflection of the National Resistance Army struggle. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
One battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that a second round of the house-to-house polio immunization campaign will take place from Friday 17th February to Monday 20th February 2023 in all divisions of Kampala. During this house-to-house polio immunization campaign, health workers will come to your homes, workplaces, schools, daycare centers, places of worship, and other community gatherings and immunize all your children below 5 years of age. Please cooperate with the health workers and give them access to your homes and schools to vaccinate all children below 5 years of age against polio. It is important to note that this house-to-house polio immunization campaign does not replace routine immunization. The polio vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Parents and guardians, please ensure that all your children below 5 years of age are immunized against polio during the second round of the polio immunization campaign from Friday 17th of February to Monday 20th of February 2023 in all divisions of Kampala. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization, and partners.
let me just send.
Yes.
Oh.
Accessing your contacts the old way.
Yeah.
Accessing your contacts with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to access your favorite contacts.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. The third Deputy Prime Minister, Lukia Nakadama, has advised Ugandans to be more patriotic. She was speaking at the launch of the second NRM Canada Symposium Roadmap and Plans, slated for the 7th till the 9th of July in Canada.
NRM party members and well-wishers are preparing for the second NRM Canada Symposium between 7th to 9th July in Canada. A number of expectations such as strengthening good working relationships, tightening the party's roots, trade are on the bucket list for the 2 days meeting. The chief organizer of this symposium, also third Deputy Prime Minister Lukia Nakadama, condemned the blossoming behavior of Ugandans not loving their country to an extent of discouraging those abroad to return home.
And to join us as we prepare for this symposium. This symposium is aiming at selling Uganda in the diaspora. We are aiming at showing other people what Uganda can do, what Uganda can produce, and how far we have moved with the NRM for the 35 years. What have we done, and what do we expect to do in future?
Nakadama is optimistic that the event will see Uganda transform economically, with the hope of bringing in more investors.
And the 9th of July, the theme of our symposium is unity and dialogue in a prosperous diaspora.
NRM Canada Community Chairperson Fred Chinene says that patriotism will be put to the forefront among Ugandans, promising an exhibition for Ugandan-made products.
Trying to see how we can organize this event to come out very good, where we are going to showcase what Uganda is making, what Uganda has, and try to sell my country to the outside world. And then people can enjoy the symposium, as well as they are learning from people from the other side.
Abewa Lusimbi, a presidential advisor for foreign affairs, pledged strengthening the roots of the NRM party.
Yayitidwa nga omugenyi omukulu era nga olwaleero tubadde ne meeting nnungi nnyo wano ku president's office nga tuteesezza era tutaddewo ne committee egenda okuba nga yeddukanya entegeka za symposium. Era nga entegeka zonna zigenda kukulemberwamu owekitiibwa Right Honorable Nakadama. Yagenda okuba nga ye chairperson weeyo okulaba nti tumanya entegeka bwe zigenda okuba.
Ivan Juko, Wycliffe Mudach for UBC.
Bushenyi municipality leaders have agreed to turn some of their traditional schools into benchmarking centers and tourist attraction sites. In a resolution yet to be passed by the district leaders, the leaders agreed to have restriction on reopening of new private schools to allow traditional government-aided schools leverage in the available space.
Bushenyi municipality was listed among the best performers in the released Uganda Certificate of Education results, having had 56% students in the first grade. The district equally had an excellent performance in the primary leaving examinations.
It's not only that, even our secondary schools continue to perform well. And as a municipality, we feel we have a niche in providing education services.
Due to its excellent performance, Bushenyi received an overwhelming number of educationists from the neighboring districts who came to benchmark on how it has managed to excel consistently. According to the municipal leaders, they are to come up with a resolution to make the district a benchmarking education hub and also have the best school incorporated into education tourism centers.
Many schools come in on tours, and we believe as a municipality that we can use this comparative advantage and also promote tourism.
According to them, this will trickle-down effect that will in a short run asper development of the area.
Like for instance, whenever these schools come in to study how to interact with us on how we do it, they eat our food in restaurant. They eat our food in restaurants. They go to our markets, buy other simple things, souvenirs, and at the end of the day, the common person earns.
I think they need motivation. Most of the times, these teachers sacrifice a lot. You know what it means to teach these young kids. To get the best out of them is really hard. So when they actually do that, I think we should repay them.
Meanwhile, municipal leaders reached a resolution to restrict opening of private schools that don't match with our required standards and to allow traditional schools leverage in the available space.
In our municipality, it is actually very difficult to start a private school. Our education department is very, very keen about standards. Whoever wants to start a private school has to comply with a number of standard requirements. And therefore, as a result of that, we have been able to restrict the mushrooming of illegal schools, but also at the same time promote standards within the existing schools.
Meanwhile, the poor performance of the traditional schools in Teso sub-region has been blamed on the dilapidated school structures. This follows the failure of some schools in the region to register any first grade in the recently released primary leaving examination results.
Kajamaka Primary School is one of the traditional schools in Bukedia district, founded by the Catholic Church in 1924. During the insurgencies in Teso sub-region, the school is said to have been used as a torture chamber by different clusters of forces.
They pushed all the small camps that were here to the central point near the sub-county headquarters. But torture areas, this were the area where they could pass. And if they caught you or they caught somebody, they would punish from here.
This left the school in a sorry state with the dilapidated structures.
They are now tortured, the walls are not good. We are really in a terrible condition that needs an immediate intervention.
Recently, the school of over 1,000 pupils was supported with 2 classrooms under PRDP project, which is a drop in an ocean.
That means 20 classrooms to amply accommodate these learners so that they attain the genuine and a true and a suitable education. Now looking at this 2 and then I think it's 7 temporal and the trees, we are really suffering under this wind.
This has affected academic performance after its lessons are interrupted by the bad weather conditions.
In case of rain, we are unable to conduct our lessons because of the fear for the condition of the classes. We always leave the class due to the fear that the block may collapse on the learners.
It is against this background that the Speaker of Parliament, among Anita, supported the school with 200 iron sheets to change its facelift.
These iron sheets are for intended purpose to cover up the buildings for the children to study in, not for their home use.
Some classrooms collapse from here, and also wind blew the roof of one of the infrastructure here. That's why today we benefited from this program, because many times we have sent our requests to the Ministry of Education and Sports to uplift some of these schools, most especially the old schools.
This school has taken long. No one has helped us like the way she has started. I think all the community today is praising her. May God bless her. May God pay her.
Anita's move to renovate the school excited the locals, who said that she is now on the right track of promoting education in Teso sub-region. Joseph Okow, UBC.
Meanwhile, the NRM party has promised to uplift and improve the livelihoods of youth and women in Serere as one of the ways to accelerate development in the district. This is one of the campaign pledges made by the NRM party to the voters ahead of the upcoming parliamentary by-elections in Serere County.
Eyenga Samuel is the senior manager mobilization in NRM cadre recruitment.
In fact, in the beginning when we came here, there was a bit of information gap among our supporters. But when we came here from the NRM Secretariat, we were able to give them the message of the President of staying united.
He is one of those camped in Serere district to solicit votes for the NRM's candidate Philip Owicho.
So we are really seeing support coming out from the youth in their masses. You've just seen here the meeting we had, and this is just a smaller meeting of coordinators.
He notes that in this election, the party is counting on mainly the youth.
They want the white-collar jobs, yet they don't have the qualifications, they don't have the papers.
So the message that we are giving to them is the message of hope, and to reassure them that the NRM party has the youth in as the main agenda now for the youth in this manifesto.
The second thing that we want to do for our youth in the different trading centers is to lobby the NRM government, asking them to implement their manifesto so that we extend electricity. When we extend electricity in the different trading centers, they will be able to do the small enterprises.
However, the women are also not being left behind.
And for women, you know, for the NRM, they are just affirming that they are with the NRM. They have seen how NRM has empowered the women in terms of providing them, first of all, room as women to come into leadership, to come into position of responsibilities.
The good thing we have with the government programs like the development parish model, a program that is brought by the NRM government, and many other programs. So what is important is the leader to guide the people, to help the people appreciate those programs and how they can be able to benefit from them.
This Thursday, NRM's candidate Philip Owicho has combed the sub-county of Olio and Serere Town Council.
Historically, the challenges of Africa have been poverty, ignorance and disease. To date, these same challenges are there. People still have ignorance as a big challenge. And that is why wherever we go, we are sensitizing, we are educating the youth and women and the people on what they can be able to do.
The campaign trail has now lasted for 4 days, and candidates are left with not more than 5 days to wrap up the entire campaign program. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Serere District.
With that, we'll take a quick break. We'll return with more details.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Now in business news, Uganda's tourism sector is coming back to life after slightly more than 2 years of distress. As the numbers of foreign tourists rise, concerns of prioritization and government commitment to sector recovery is coming up in various forums. Our reporter Dennis Sigoa has an insight into the matters of tourism.
The last 3 years have been the roughest and toughest period for Uganda's tourism sector. COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, economic slowdown, and the more recent Ebola virus outbreak drained resources and the energy of the public and private sector players. Natalie Van P., a tour operator and director of Nile Safari Lodge in Murchison Falls National Park, recounts their trials.
We opened in September, on the 13th of September 2019. In December, the outbreak of COVID started. The country was shut down, we had lockdown, the airport was closed, and even movement with cars in Uganda was completely blocked.
Despite the tough times, going for months without hosting a single guest, the lodge proprietors had to keep a skeleton team of workers around to maintain the place in anticipation of better days.
If it was any client we could get, just after training all our staff, 80% are locals from the Mubako village. So after training all our staff, there was no way of closing. We kept the lodge going, even if it was one client a week or a month. So we kept strong, we kept all our employees during the COVID time. and our team stayed strong together. Most of them were still with them today. And also I thank them for being there with us on the hardest time.
After the full reopening of the economy in early 2022 and the declaration of Uganda being Ebola virus-free, sector players like Natalie and Lilia Jarova, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Tourism Board, are ecstatic as the sector, a top revenue earner for the country, comes back to life.
As we see now, things are picking up and it's exciting. I believe that we are heading out for a really good season this year that should lead us to the recovery of the number that we had in 2019.
Rob Walker, a globally acclaimed British sports commentator and a celebrated sports personality, is one of the recent visitors to Murchison Falls National Park.
300 cubic meters of water drop here, drop 45 meters every single second. And you can feel the ground rumbling underneath you.
At the Nile Safari Lodge, they focus on exclusivity due to their limited number of rooms. Their target clientele are therefore high-end like Rob Walker.
It's always a pleasure to host anyone actually, because we want to give everyone the same service. But someone like Rob Walker, who is a sports journalist and has such a career, it makes it even better because we know that the way he feels about our lodge will replicate throughout, worldwide.
Uganda's tourism industry has the potential to challenge and even surpass some of the leading tourism destinations globally. But there is a concern of sector prioritization and resource allocation by government.
How much do we get from tourism? How much do they get back? You find that tourism, which gives the country, I think it's the second, if I'm correct. Before COVID, it was the first. If we could put in more money to tourism, how much money would we be able to get into this country? But at the end of the day, as a country, as a government, we have our priorities as of now.
In the next financial year, 2023-2024, the sector is facing a more than 50% slash on budgetary allocation, a move that analysts believe will hurt more a sector on a recovery trajectory. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
And now in sports, Uganda has been knocked out of teams events at the ongoing All-Africa Badminton Championship in South Africa. Uganda lost to Egypt at the quarter-final stage. Now 12 best badminton teams are competing at this event.
Uganda had a fair start of Group C that had host South Africa and Mozambique finishing second in the group to progress to the quarterfinals. The team was later drawn to giants Egypt, to whom they lost the singles game and the doubles. The prowess of seed 1 Brian Castley and Fazia Shamik secured mixed doubles victory, though not sufficient as they lost the semi-final slot to Egypt. In the other fixtures, South Africa played Zambia, Nigeria faced Mauritius, while Reunion played Algeria. Now giants South Africa and Egypt will tussle to determine who walks away with the team's events crown. Meanwhile, all is not lost as the individual categories are to compete this Friday. Brian Kaslie, Husna Kobgabe and Shamik Fazila will compete for their own merit and prize money. 12 countries including Zambia, Cameroon, Nigeria are competing for honors and ranking at the world stage.
Well, that does it for news tonight. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. I am RHODA NGOZI on sign language, Magalu Mohammed.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mode Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mode Technologies, your professional research firm.
Affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.